I'm Luka Doncic, and this is Locked On Mavericks podcast.
This is gonna be huge.
Yeah. 360 in the contract, never that. I just take the contact, I bring it back. I'm running on the fast break, behind the back. Yeah, this that.
Dirk with the Mavs.
Welcome. You are locked on the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member at MavsMoneyball.com, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, writer at Mavs.com, and lover of the backcourt that's not really a backcourt. What you got for me, Isaac Harris?
We have talked about how much this is is it a pet peeve? Do we say it's a pet peeve that some people call it a backcourt? The announcer set the bar for announcing basketball games the other day, but they said it on the broadcast. Man, this backcourt has a bright future in Dallas, and it's not a backcourt. Stop it. Whoever says backcourt, we're coming for you.
Even if you write for the team.
But yeah.
Oh, man. All right. So today, if you're listening on the podcast, we are live. We are live on YouTube, Twitch, as well as Periscope on my channel. So you can go back and you can watch a lot of those. So you can check all of that. Shout out to everybody that is talking to us right now in the chat. So if you ever hear us on the podcast, if you're like, what's the chat? Why do they keep mentioning chat? There's a chat in YouTube and Twitch, as well as in Periscope that we're watching and monitoring right now. And people are asking us questions. So it's essentially a live mailbag every time we do this. We're going to try to do these once a week. We're going to try to go live. So like right now, shout out to Red Skull 1234. Hi, Isaac. How you doing?
Oh, what's up? Just me. You just saying hi to me.
As
not
well
Nick.
as Red Skull 123 said, same to you, Nick.
Oh, okay. I was like, he must dislike the Lakers, so we're good.
I Carry Ninja says Raccoon Squad represent. Isaac, so we've gotten a lot more new listeners. Do you want to explain to them what the Raccoon Squad is? It's
gonna sound super dumb right now. Explain it in person or in a year and a half later. How long have we been doing this pod, Nick?
We started in May of 2017.
Oh my gosh, we've did probably 400 episodes?
Almost
300 something episodes. I think I've talked to Nick more than my wife over the past year.
I think that's true.
So real quick before we get into Maverick stuff, we always use this hashtag, and people, it's so cool that this community has been built around this podcast. When we took this thing over last May, and slowly over time, we've built this Raccoon Squad community, and it's been super cool because people tweet at us all the time and send us raccoon stories in the news. They send us video clips of raccoons, and somebody tweeted us the other day and said, man, there is an emoji that's coming out as a raccoon. I'm like, we can't wait for use this. But really, it has no ties to like the Mavericks. It's just when we first started this podcast, we normally start the podcast talking about like stuff that's happening in our personal lives, in our marriage or our whatever's going on, kids, and it's crazy. Since we started this podcast or took it over, Nick's changed houses and I've had a kid and changed states, and Nick's enjoying beach life right now. But anyway, long story short, I told this long story that accumulated over like 2 or 3 days about this family of raccoons in my backyard. And how I have this pear tree, and these raccoons would come into my backyard to steal these pears, and I was going out and I was shooting them, and so I was going out my back door and shooting the raccoons, and it just turned it like scared my wife and stuff, and it just turned into this whole big story for like a couple of days, and then it took a life of its own on Twitter also because people chimed in on all that. So anyway, it built into this, okay, maybe I forgot who came up with the Raccoon Squad, whereas listeners being raccoons, but that's what it's turned into. And then Nick made an awesome logo, and now it's just stuck, and it's something funny.
Yeah, I don't know who came up with the Raccoon Squad, but there's a whole bunch of people in the chat right now. Jim's Nerd Nation Jr., Raccoon Squad, James Williams, Day Ones, Edmund the Slayer, Howdy with a robot emoji on Twitch, or emoticon, I guess, on Twitch, whatever you call them on Twitch. So a bunch of people chiming in now, getting in. But yeah, the Raccoon Squad, I don't know who came up with that name, but yeah, it represents us. That's what it is.
It's our unique thing to where we know you're an OG, you're Day One that's been there.
And you can be in the Raccoon Squad, but not a Day One. But I don't think you can be in the Day Ones and not be in the Raccoon Squad.
That is a very true statement.
Feels like the Day Ones were there by day one, but
since Mark Cuban follows the Locked On Twitter thing and has liked some Locked On, his brother, I think, retweeted one of our podcasts today that came out.
That he did.
Mark Cuban, are you part of the Raccoon Squad?
Wow. There's a billionaire in the Raccoon Squad.
Is he in the Raccoon Squad? But maybe we'll find out in the future.
Or he just checks on to see what people are talking about his team.
Very true. Very true. Well,
all right. So today, we're getting a couple questions, and that's sort of the main idea to do this is to get questions. I Carry Ninja says Mavericks' new mascot should be a raccoon. Way better than Mavs Man. Agreed. Mavs Man, one of the worst mascots I've ever seen in my entire life.
Mavs Man, that's a struggle, guys. Does anybody like Mavs Man?
What do you feel about Mavs Man? Like, honestly, what do you feel about Mavs Man?
I don't know. I don't have any feelings about Mavs Man because I just can't. I don't understand his purpose. Like, Champ's cool. Like, Champ's friendly to the kids. Like, I mean, Mavs Man is too. But like, if I'm a kid and I want a picture of somebody, I'm definitely going to Champ. I'm not going to Mavs Man.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Whatever. He dunks, so that's cool.
Yeah, I guess that's cool. Mavs Man is, yeah, Darth Vader. Mavs Man is super creepy. Completely agree. Super creepy.
Super creepy.
Super creepy. T4 and D1L. He should invest in the podcast. Yeah, he should get us better streaming because I'm pretty sure right now the streaming is not super clear for everybody. But
hey, invest in the pod. Let's go.
Mavs Man sure beats the new Flyers mascot, Gritty. Are you sure?
I don't know. I don't know. Gritty actually is kind of funny looking. Like, Mavs Man's not even funny looking. Like, that's the thing. Gritty, I look at him like, oh, that's just goofy. That's funny. Mavs Man, no. It's just a man.
All right, so I wanted to make good on the title a little bit and for the people on the podcast. Dennis Smith Jr. and Luka Doncic. They're the future of the team. You know, we love Dennis Smith Jr. and Luka. How do you feel like they've played so far? They've played 3 preseason games, and we've seen how they have played together. We've seen them, kind of off the ball, off of each other, play off of each other a little bit. They usually only have been playing when the other person is playing. How do you feel like they've played so far?
I think they're playing better after 3 games than I thought they would. I thought how they're playing now would be something 3 or 4 weeks into the regular season. And they still have room to grow, obviously, for sure. But it's happened a little bit better than I thought it would. But what makes it so cool of them playing together is when the Mavericks get a rebound and they get a defensive board, it's not just like Dennis doesn't have to just stand there and wait for the ball. Like, that's the cool thing, because you're not going to throw it to Wes and then like let Wes bring it up. Let's hope. You're not going to, like, Harrison will get a board and just take it, and that's fine. But like, Dennis doesn't have to just stand there and just like wait for Deandre to hand in the basketball. Luka has that too. So it's like when DeAndre Jordan gets a rebound, one of his like 20 rebounds a game, he can turn around and like whoever is his first person that he sees, he can hit either one of them, and either one of them can bring the ball down the court and do their thing. That's what it just gives the offense so much more freedom in their ability to I mean, we've talked about Dennis playing off the ball. Luka, Dennis is shooting. You tweeted out something today of Dennis's averages after 3 games, shooting average after 3 games. And I think he's shooting 39% from 3.
Yeah, 38% from 3 and like over 50% from the field.
And we've talked about how his spot up shooting has to be a lot better, but man, his off the ball shooting, that's huge. Like, if you told me, hey, and naturally, which shooting number will increase first, then, or is easier to raise up, it's going to be the spot up, the spot up number. I'm like, okay, well, spot up hopefully will go first. Shooting off the dribble is a little bit harder to do. Man, he's shooting the ball off the dribble, doing those Kimball Walker type jump back shots and all that stuff. That's where his shooting has made their duo combination gel much quicker than I thought. I didn't think it was going to be horrible. I just thought it was going to take a little bit more time. And I'm not saying it's perfect now, but it's farther along right now than I thought it would be.
Completely. And the point you made about how they can, sort of play off each other, where one person doesn't just have to stand there and, wait to get the ball and then to initiate the offense themselves. The other, each one of them can. There's two playmakers, and we've made fun of Carlisle for this forever, that he always wanted two playmakers on the floor at the same time. Well, this issue has been kind of exasperated since Harrison Barnes isn't on the court, and so you don't have anybody to kind of bail him out in the offense. That Dennis and Luca, when they're both on the floor, it's like, man, if you pass it to one guy, he's dangerous, and if you pass it to the other guy, he's dangerous. Whereas, and I'm seeing in the chat a whole bunch of people saying, talking about Wes, give all of Wes's touches to Luca. Wes wants a top 5 pick. Please, Lord, don't let Wes dribble up the court or in ISOs.
Stanley Matthews.
And when the Mavericks were just like Harrison Barnes and Wes, it was that issue was exasperated, where there just weren't enough playmakers. And now you have danger in driving and in pull-ups and spot-ups and in different spots on the floor and different positions on the floor. And it creates so much. It just creates a better offense, a better, ability to, just a better offense, better flowing offense. And then Carlisle's now preaching ball movement and all that stuff. So it's getting better. The offense is, and they've gotten better pieces to be able to do it, which seems obvious, but those are the early returns of, what we've seen so far.
And it makes the offense go much quicker too, and creates more opportunities whenever. If you have one guy that's waiting back to get the basketball and the point guard to bring the ball up, then the defense knows that, that's the one guy that's going to get the ball or that's going to bring it up. When you have two of those guys to where Deandre can just turn around and hit whoever he can hit first, then that makes the defense say, holy crap, I got to get back quick. And we're going to see that happen this year. You're going to see Luca or Dennis catch that ball, and they're going to get to the basket before the other team is even set. They're going to play that fast of a pace where you wait. Those first couple of games, I want to see how many times, when the first time it happens, I'm going to tweet out to the Raccoon Squad and be like, shout out to when we talked about on the live stream of Deandre getting a board and hitting Luca or Dennis, and they're going to have a layup, a fast break opportunity before the other team even gets set on defense. That's going to happen a lot this year.
Completely. Yeah, we're super excited to see that happen. Anyone think the Mavs can run an offense similar to the pre-Rondo 14-15 lineup? Dennis Smith Jr. as Monte, Luka as Parsons, DeAndre Jordan as Tyson, Barnes as Dirk, and Wes as Jameer.
Wes as Jameer.
Yeah, I think you lost me. You lost me on a couple in there. Barnes and Wes, for sure. You lost me on those. And this is another thing that I've been big on is we got to stop with comparing all Mavericks players to past Mavericks players. Luka is a player the Mavericks have never had, right?
I mean, 6'8" JJ.
Yeah, there's really nobody you can compare except unless you want to go with the JJ route with Luka. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, they've never had that. I see the point that you're going for, because that team before Rondo was just crazy offensive wise. Their numbers and where they were on pace for some crazy, on pace for some records on the offensive side of the ball. So I don't know if they can. They have the potential. Let's just do that. They have the potential for sure to run that efficient of an offense, but I think it's just going to take a little bit of time. Bobby sent out Bobby Corral at Mavs.com. He tweeted out this stat the other day on synergy, and I thought it was really good, and I retweeted it. He said, it's only been 3 games, and preseason is usually a little more back and forth, but the Mavs have used 57 transition possessions so far, constituting 16.9% of their total possessions. Last season, they were 10.8% came in transition, 29th in the NBA. So if that gives you like, I like that stat from Bobby because it gives you a sense of that pace after three preseason games about how much, like after three, they're almost at 17% of their possessions are in the fast break. The whole last season, they were 29th in the NBA in that. So they're going to speed that up a little bit. Why are you laughing?
Because I just saw a tweet from Kirk that said, Twitter is trying to force Nick and Isaac in their live show on me, and I will not click. No, I will not, but maybe you should.
Oh, Kirk.
That's funny. Also, Young Libra 226 said Luca as Parsons is a criminal take. We have a phrase for that around here.
Satnam shame.
Big Greasy 07 says plot twist. Mavs man is Brian Cardinal.
Oh,
way too short. If you guys have never seen Mavs man in person, he is all of 5'4".
If you told me Jameer Nelson, maybe.
Yeah.
Really,
if we're only comparing players to the 14-15 roster.
Really, it'd be like Yogi.
Yeah, closer to that.
Yogi said, "Screw the Kings. I'm gonna come back and be Mavs man. I'd rather be Mavs man than be on the Kings."
Ocho to Truth 22 says, "Do you see Deandre having more than 5 20-point, 20 rebound games?"
20-point, 20 rebound?
Yeah, definitely more than 20. More than 5 20 rebound games. I think they're gonna be there, and the shots are gonna go up.
That's good. Here's the thing with this points thing, and we think it's gonna stay around the 10 to 12. I think he averaged 12 last year for the Clippers. There's gonna be games to where he has over 20 points.
Just keep going. I'm laughing at the chat. J. Jared 1101 said Mavs man is Delonte.
LeBron, on January 7th, LeBron walks in, Dad! Anyway, where was I going?
You're talking about Deandre scoring 20 points a game.
Yeah, here's the thing.
20 points in games.
When you think about that and you think he's going to hover around the 10 to 12 mark, which we think he will, he's going to have games where it's over 20 points. Like it's going to happen. He's going to get the putbacks, the offensive putbacks. We said those stats.
Yeah, all he needs is 10 lobs. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get the lobs. That's going to happen. But how many shots he gets off of putbacks on offensive rebounds, we said those stats, the synergy stats on that player preview pod. So if you go back to two of the stream or pods that we've did, like there are all kinds of, how many we do? Like 5, 6? We still have more to go, but we did the whole starting 5. So you can go back and listen to Deandre us talk for an hour on previewing DeAndre Jordan's season and stuff. But he's going to get those. He's going to get the lobs. Let's hope he doesn't get the post-ups. But all those other things he will get. And it could result in, like if DeAndre Jordan has a 25-point game, those will happen sometimes. I don't think they're going to happen all the time, but those will happen sometimes. So. Yeah,
it'll happen. But five times out of 82.
2020.
Yeah, ooh. You have to get both.
I'll take the under on that.
The other thing is though he's very good at putbacks, and with a putback you get the automatic both. You get 2 points and you get a rebound.
Oh yeah, and
he'll have more opportunities to do that. I think in Dallas as well.
Yeah, and that's what I was touching on a while ago with the putbacks and stuff. He's super where he's at in the percentile of the league, and those putbacks are way up there.
Everybody is now saying that Mavs man is actually super nice.
No, he is super nice.
Edmund Slayer said Mavs man came to my middle school twice. He is actually really nice. Then Big Greasy 07 said Mavs man actually came to my school once. He asked trivia questions for bobbleheads and gear. Walked out with a Dirk Superman bobblehead. Not everybody that gives you free stuff is nice or a good person or like, you know what I mean?
That's how people bring you in, just give you free stuff. No, I think he's really nice and he's really fun with the fans. I just think he's creepy looking.
Yeah, you just change it up a little bit. Make him like an astronaut. Something different. Just change him up. We had a guy in my high school called Comet Man, and it was this guy in like a motorcycle helmet and like this jumpsuit. He looked like Evel Knievel kind of, and he made this like, it was a kid that would like act like nobody knew that it was him until he did this like news story for our school news that I helped produce, and finally he like revealed himself on the news thing. I was like, I have been Comment Man this whole time. And everybody was like, yeah, we all know you're Comment Man.
Basically, he's saying
will reveal himself as Delonte West one day.
We know who Mavs Man is. We don't know. He's gonna be like the Scooby-Doo villain.
Okay, back to real Mavericks questions. J. Jared 1101 says, how many triple doubles for Dennis Smith Jr. and Luca? Ooh.
I think Luca will get a few. I don't think Dennis will get the rebounds for it.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to get rebounds when you're a guard that small. You have to be like honestly what Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, I've been thinking about the triple double thing because looking at somebody tweeted out today per 36 numbers based off the preseason so far, and I know it's PR gets to me sometimes and preseason, yeah, but it had Luka at 7 boards, and I didn't think Luka was going to get to that 7. Not saying he's at that whatever, but I thought he would be hovering around like the 5 boards mark. So if he gets like 7 boards a game or something like that, that's going to be scary. That was the biggest difference between him and Ben Simmons' like stat line from like last year. I think he'll match Ben Simmons on like the scoring because Ben Simmons only averaged like 15 a game last year. I think Luka will get there with assists. It's the rebounding that I thought Ben Simmons would have the edge over him on. And if he gets those like 7 or 8 rebounds, that's big time. So yeah, I think that there will be multiple triple doubles this year from Luka. Not any crazy ones, but I think we'll see a 16, 11, 10, something like that. Triple double multiple times.
Yeah, and Dennis is gonna have a hard time with the rebounds, and I think they're also gonna take assists away from each other too. I mean, they're not both gonna get 10 in one night. It'd just be hard. Yeah. Unless the team is super passing like a lot.
I have a question for you. Does Luka hit 30 points in a game this season?
Oh yeah, because he didn't do it last year. Because last year 29 I think was his highest, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, I think he will, especially, if Jeff Skin Wade is saying that he's going to lead the team in scoring.
Luka.
Oh, Luka 30 points in a game? Yes. Yeah. He'll get hot from 3. He'll have some, fast break opportunities where, 2 out of the more times than not in a fast break opportunity, he'll go to the bucket instead of making the pass. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like I think 30 points is doable for him
because he can score. Under
I think he scores in more ways than Dennis can. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think Dennis will shoot more shots than Luka. That's my thing.
Dennis season high last year, 27 points.
Okay. Over under Luka 5 30-point games.
Oh, under.
Okay. 3.
Under.
So you're saying just a couple?
Yeah, a couple.
Okay.
30 points with an offense that'll be as spread out as it will be.
Yeah.
I don't know. He could have more. Did you hear that beep? That's my smoke alarm.
Oh. Nick's just the meme right now of the little cartoon. It's like, it's fine, and it's just burning down around him, and he's still on the live stream.
My house is small enough that I could hear it from here, wherever it is. But I have to get it before I'd go to sleep. Salo 7E, did Luka have any major injuries in the past? That's a good question.
Major injuries? I don't believe so, but don't hold me.
Unless you'd have to be like super young.
Yeah, don't hold me to that. I will defer to somebody, a Luka expert for that. There are some, yes, but I will hold off on that. I don't think so off the top of my head, but I will try to figure this out for whoever, tweet or not even tweeted, messaged that.
How excited, Dan Cobb OXO, how excited are you about the first home game, and do you think Dirk will play? So first home game, we're talking, that's next Friday, right? Like 10 days from right now.
Yeah, Minnesota, I'm pretty sure.
It's not a It's
19th?
Saturday. It's a Saturday the 20th. No?
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Why do we not know this right now off the top of our heads?
I don't know. It's a week from now. It's 10 days from now. I think like an hour.
All I'm focused on right now is this Suns game. But yes, it's Saturday the 20th. against the Timberwolves. How excited am I? I am beyond excited. It is, their preseason kind of, it's the appetizer, it's the blooming onion, it's the potato skins, it's whatever you like as your appetizer. What's your
favorite? Okay, in the chat, what's your favorite appetizer to get at a restaurant?
Potato skins. Let's go. Potato skins. Come through strong. Not cheese fries. I'm not about.
I'm always a guacamole guy, and if they have queso, it has to be white queso.
Okay. Chips and salsa doesn't count. Because that's
Isaac
free.
Drinking on the pod. No, Isaac is not drinking on the pod. What are you drinking?
Topo Chico!
Oh, isn't that what Kanye dressed as the other night?
Don't diss Topo Chico like that. But no, how excited are we that for the opening night? Man, it is. If that was the appetizer, the first preseason game, this is going to be it. Because but I will say this: it's not like Luka and them have been trotting out playing 12 to 15 minutes. They've been playing like 30 minutes a game. So
yeah,
I think it's going to be really interesting to see what they do Friday night against the Hornets at home, and to see if they play just a half or whatever it is. But yeah, I mean, the first game that really matters, you're going to get. I haven't even really thought about this. The fact that the whole Jimmy Butler situation, that it's not settled and stuff, and that's like next Saturday, to where we could get Phoenix without Devin Booker and Minnesota without Jimmy Butler. But anyway, no, I mean, it's going to be awesome because we actually have a big man to guard Karl Anthony Towns. I've said this 1,000 times before. Every time I walk into American Airlines Center last year, and I would see an opposing big man warm up, I'm like, oh, we're about to drop about 30 and 16, because we haven't had a big man to guard them. And now we have Deandre, and it's so cool. And seeing these past two Philly games, you're like, oh crap, this is what it's been like the past 2 years, knowing that Deandre's back home to guard Embiid. So that's going to be super fun. But yeah, I mean, that first game is going to be fun to watch with Luka and all of that. Do I believe Dirk will play? No, I do not believe Dirk will play that first game. We have been saying that on the pod since media day. We talked about this on the podcast. I think we did a live stream after media day, right?
Yeah, we did right after.
And we talked about it on there and I said, listen, Dirk is struggling to get around at media day. And at that point, Rick had said, oh, he's going to go to China. We're going to see if he can play in China. I'm like, there ain't no way that's going to happen. Like, they're going to take the long-term approach to this. So it took like a week. And then I think Eddie Sefko tweeted out, it said, reported that it's going to be weeks, not days for Dirk. And we're like, hey, if you've been listening to the podcast, you've been hearing us preach that. And so, no, I don't think he'll be ready for, definitely not. Yeah. To my knowledge, he's not even like practicing full on right now to the team. So,
yeah, they're going to slow him down. They always do. It always takes longer for him to come back from normal things than anybody else because he's freaking 40 years old.
And there's no rush, and that's totally cool. Like, let him start off, and then when he does come back, it's going to be awesome and
completely.
All that.
Edmund the Slayer says, can y'all give me a Maxey hot take? He is absolutely nuts in 2K. I actually just wrote the Maxey player preview for Moneyball, and eventually we'll do a Maxey, Powell, and Salah, I think, combined player preview podcast. But Maxey has shown a couple of plays these last games in China that we haven't seen from him. We saw this play in these two plays in the second game against the Sixers where Maxey was on the left wing. He faked a shot. Somebody came out and closed out on him. He drove past them, and Embiid had to come over and help off of Salah, and Maxey just handed it off to Salah on the post, and Salah got a really easy dunk. And then another one where he was on the right wing, did the same thing, pumped, drove into the lane, and did like this scoop shot layup. And these are things that we just did not see from him. Plus the defense, plus the improving shot. I think he's 6 of 12 from 3 so far during the preseason. And so he's getting used to the adjustment of the 3-point line from the FIBA rules to the NBA, which is like 1.5 foot. It's 1.5 foot difference. That's a big difference. If you stand on a basketball court and you step like 1.5 foot back, and you've taken as many threes as Maxey has, and you get used to that range, then you have to get used to a little farther back. It's it's jarring. It's a big difference. So My take is that he takes. If I have to give a hot take, is that Dwight Powell's minutes get completely reduced.
Maxey replaces Dwight Powell. Is that your hot take?
I mean, that's the hottest take you can get about Maxey Kleber, I think, right now.
I got one for you. And I'm going to ask you because you're a huge Maxey Kleber fan.
Yes.
Or Stan, whatever.
Yes.
Do you think he can be better than Dario Saric?
Not as a scorer.
Both 6'10", both can maybe shoot the three some.
I hope there are no Sixers fans watching this right now.
Why?
Because they are very angry. And
trust me. They came at me completely whenever I tweeted out the whole, here is Luka Doncic getting past Robert Covington.
They love Dario. They love the homie Dario. Oh my
gosh, dude. They came at me so hard. I'm like, did you see the pick? Yeah, I saw the pick. I made the GIF and I tweeted out. I don't know if you want to call that a pick, but I just shot. How hot do you want to get the Maxey Kleber oven right now for the hot takes coming out? But
he's not better. I don't think he's better than Dario.
I'm not saying better than him. I'm saying, can that be his ceiling?
No, because he's not as good off the dribble.
Okay.
And I don't think he's as good of a shooter. I think Dario's a better shooter.
Okay. Is he better?
He's better defensively. Yeah, I'll give him that. He's definitely, and he's bigger too. He's just a bigger.
And I give the ceiling thing because we just talked about how is this an improvement? Is this something he added over the offseason that he can put it on the floor some and go create some? I think Dario is more fluid and a better player and stuff right now, but should Maxey be looking at it saying, is he closer to Dario Saric or is he closer to Derek Favors?
In terms of style?
Yeah.
Derek Favors.
Okay.
He's more he's not as fast. He's just more of a plotting, like, big man type. He has some, like, these moves off the dribble. We haven't seen them before. So if he starts doing that all the time and he starts to look really fluid with the ball, then that's different. But yeah, I think he's still. Let's just focus on him being a spot up shooter and a good post defender.
I think he has solidified his role, and as far as that he deserves some type of role off the bench. Going into this season, I was worried. We're not really worried, but I was looking at his spot and his minutes in the rotation as this maybe a weak link to where a guy like a Ray Spalding, maybe even a Costas, whatever you want to say, is somebody else that can step into that role, or maybe we sign somebody that could take minutes from Maxey. I think it's very clear right now Maxey will get his minutes, and it's more of the opposite of, can Maxey move up and move past to Dwight Powell or split minutes with Dwight Powell?
Yeah, and you have to think that now, Deandre is there to soak up all these minutes, and also the Mavericks are spreading out their wings so that they are also taking big man minutes away too. Maxey in the preseason so far, he's pretty much played only next to Salah, and then sometimes with Dwight Powell, and then very, very seldom we've seen him so far play as the one big man with somebody else. Luca or Dorian or something like that. So, and
once Dirk gets back, Salah won't even be playing. So Salah might not even dress some nights, because we got to remember the roster is going to go down to 17, and that's counting right now. It's counting Macon and Costas. So then you're looking at those 15. You can only have 12 active. So let's just say Macon and Costas is down, or up in Frisco, and what three players are not going to be dressing? That's where it gets interesting. And when Dirk's back, I think Salah will be one of those.
Which is sad, but
I view Salah as one thing. He's DeAndre Jordan insurance. And if DeAndre goes down, you put him in there, and he's like the Diet Coke version of DeAndre.
Not even. He's the Coke Zero. They just don't even make it anymore.
Yeah, well, just as far as rim presence that can protect the paint and do, resemble something that DeAndre does.
Yes. Dayman 3306. Am I missing something about Dennis Smith Jr.? I keep hearing all these leaps he's taken from last year. ... What kind of leaps? What kind of leaps have you seen Dennis take already, Isaac?
Well, it's the shooting. I mean, we talked about earlier in the live stream as far as those his playmaking and his shooting off the dribble. That's stuff in his player preview podcast that we did, we went all through how Synergy is not one of his friends. Like if Dennis Smith Jr. has MySpace, Synergy is not in his MySpace top 8. All right.
No.
Like that is not happening. You think Dennis even knows what MySpace is?
Yeah, he'd have an idea of what it is.
Okay.
He'd be like, isn't that like Facebook?
I feel like I don't even know what that would be equivalent to us as him looking back on MySpace. But anyway,
did anybody in the chat have a Zynga? Let me know if you had a Zynga in the chat. That was like the first blog, and I swear if anyone finds mine, that would be awful.
I had ICQ. It's all about ICQ messaging.
8 a.m.
I actually never had that. Anyway, the strides that...
What was that, like the Great Value brand of instant messenger?
Get off of Great Value brand, but no, ICQ was cool. You could change the color of the text and text people and like all this stuff. Anyway, going back to the strides that Dennis made, yeah, it all revolves around his shooting and stuff. And so far, after 3 preseason games, his shooting looks stellar. It looks like something that he really has improved on over the summer, and we'll see if it translates going forward.
Yeah. And then playing with Luka, I think, in the same way that people are talking about, LeBron will help, Brandon Ingram because he takes pressure off him. He takes, the best defender and puts it on LeBron instead of Brandon Ingram. That's going to happen with Dennis too. The best defender has a choice. You can pick, like if it's a wing defender, like let's say, who's a wing defender that would also defend Dennis? Like a Marcus
Covington?
Smart. Like a Marcus Smart or a Covington kind of guy. Yeah, even Covington. You get to decide. Do you defend? Like last year, it was okay, Harrison or Dennis. Those are your 2 options. And if Harrison was off the floor, then it was Dennis. Now it's like, okay, now you have 3 options. You can defend Luca, you can defend Harrison, and you can defend Dennis. If all 3 of them are on the floor at the same time, then sometimes Dennis is going to get the 3rd worst defender of all of those guys, and he didn't get that last year. It was either the 2nd or the 1st best defender. So some of the pressure should be taken off him in that way.
And the other night, when they played Phillies past few games, we talked about those matchups. Ben Simmons guarded Luka, and I'm pretty sure Covington took
Dennis sometimes.
No, well I think Fultz was on it, so that freed up Covington. So they're a hard team. That's a bad example because they have really good defensive players. But that gives you an idea of, hey, one of these guys, they got to pick and choose of who they're going to guard. When you go to Toronto, who's Kawhi going to guard? Kawhi, is he going to guard Harrison Barnes or is he going to guard Luka? I think he'll probably guard Luka and try to at least contain a little bit of the playmaking. And then outside of that, who guards who? Or does OG guard Luka, or do they put OG on Harrison? And yeah, it's going to be fun to see how teams match up with Dallas.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who guards who. Darth Vader _41 says, this is an odd topic, but on the scale from 1 to 10, where's the level of concern regarding Luka's conditioning? Yes, he's 19 or 20 and still transforming. I'm just curious what your thoughts are. He looked a lot lighter even in his most recent EuroLeague highlights. Just curious, not tripping, ... Honestly, his conditioning. I think he does look kind of slow, but that's not conditioning, I don't think. He's playing 30 minutes, and I think the 30 minutes, like we mentioned before, is indicative of Carlisle wants to kind of play him in shape a little bit.
Yeah, on a scale 1 to 10, 2, if that.
If we're gonna put how concerned we are, not concerned.
Listen, playing out his whole summer, he played and won the EuroLeague championship like 2 days before the draft. He wins that championship. They didn't think he was going to be able to make the draft, but he won the championship early, won the MVP, came to the draft. Since then, the Mavericks said, hey, you need to rest. You have played nonstop for the past 2 years. So you need to rest, take the summer, go spend time on a yacht with your girlfriend and go to all these places. He finally takes his vacation, then starts, coming stateside, goes to P3, goes to these workouts, these Nike things, whatever. Gets to Dallas after Labor Day. He's obviously not in the best shape in his life because he finally got a break. Let the 19-year-old kid have a break. So yeah, I think it's kind of I don't think addition by subtraction is the right word for this, but let him come into camp. Let him come into the first part of the season. It's worth it. It's worth the break for the long term. It's worth letting him have the break and maybe being a little bit out of shape now, heading to the season. Now, if he's the same exact way he is right now, at the end of this season or going into next season or, whatever it is, or even midway through the season probably, I think it's a conversation then. But we haven't even played one regular season game yet. And he's played 3 preseason games, and he's still looking pretty good. So if this is the worst shape he'll ever be in as a pro, we're looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, totally fine with it. And you can play yourself into shape in the NBA season. It's happened all the time. He might not come out of the gate, but he'll hit a rookie. He'll hit like the rookie wall, what we're talking, and then he'll be at his best shape maybe then. That could be even better for him. I don't know. I'm not concerned about it. I say I'm concerned about his conditioning. 2. 2 is probably like there. It is a thing. It's not a thing, but it's not enough of a thing to where I'm, constantly thinking about the thing. That's kind of
exactly.
That's kind of how I feel about it. Clutch moments without a U _ says, if Dennis becomes a consistent outside scorer, I believe he can be a 25 points per game guy. What do y'all think? There's a path for him to do that. He'd have to. The floaters that we talked about last year, he'd have to solidify that. He'd have to make that a big part of his game. He'd have to, obviously, the shooting that we're talking about. I'm working on a big piece about his shooting and what he would have to do to make that improve. And then going to the free throw line. I think those are the 3 things he has to do to get better as a scorer. Is get to the free throw line more. He only went to the free throw line like less than 3 times a game last year. Like, not even less than 3 times. Less than 3 free throw attempts per game. That's like 1.5 times to the free throw line. That's not even enough trips. So if he gets there more, if he's attempting, 8 to 9, something in that range where, some of the best in the NBA, and eventually he'll get calls like that where he does get to the line more. If he's doing that, he's adding, and he starts to shoot free throws better. He gets there more often, gets in a better rhythm. Then you add 7 points per game to his average, and that's already taken him to like 22 from where he was before. You know what I mean?
And a lot of it has to do with shot attempts. So I'm looking at Russell Westbrook's stats from last year. Westbrook averaged 25 a game last year. So looking at what it took Russ to average 25 last year, he attempted 7 free throws a game. Can Dennis get to 7 free throws a game? Last year, he had how many free throws he had a game last year? Like 2 or 3?
I honestly think it was 2.8.
Yeah, because we put his over-under free throws, I think, at 5, right?
Yeah.
So Russell Westbrook averaged 7 free throw attempts a game. Now, Westbrook averaged or shot the ball 29% from 3 last year. So he shot 4 threes. So if we think Dennis is going to shoot 35% at least, then that definitely helps. Can Dennis average 2 threes a game? That's huge for him. And that would be
2 makes.
Yeah. 2 like made threes a game. But the biggest thing when it comes to Russ is Russ averaged 21 shot attempts a game. Dennis isn't going to average 21 shot attempts a game. No. So that's where I say it's difficult for Dennis to reach 25 right now, because when you start looking at shots across the board, like somebody for like Russell Westbrook to average 25, you're playing with like a Steven Adams, which is not somebody. Well, I say this, somebody's probably gonna come out with me with some advanced stat and be like, he's a better rim roller than Deandre. I feel like DeAndre's the bigger lob threat that you're looking for him for the lob. You have Harrison Barnes, you have Luka. Dirk's gonna get a shot off the bench. Wes is gonna be spotting up for 3 all the time. That is Russell Westbrook playing with Andre Roberson. So like, hey, he can't hit the ocean with a beach ball, and so then you're just going across. If Jeremy Grant's playing, which, hey, I'm a big fan of Jeremy Grant, Nick is not. That's 2 shooters.
I'm a fan
right
of
there.
him. I just don't think that he's as good as some of these other. Get out of here.
You think Nick likes Danilo Gallinari more than Jeremy Grant? I like Jeremy Grant.
As a player, yeah, as a player.
Okay. Anyway,
he's a better
Dennis,
player.
5 years ago.
No, he's a better player now.
Before the wheelchair. But I think it's just going to be the whole thing is it's just going to Dennis would have to be very, very efficient and have very high shooting numbers to hit 25. I'm not saying not ever. I'm saying like there's a scenario in which he could hit 25. Like let's say Harrison Martin opts out and goes somewhere else next year, and like the person they bring in with their money is like Capella, and they're going to the future with this like Dennis, Luca, Capella or something like that. There's a scenario that way to where I could see him getting 25 because he's probably going to get his shot attempts then. But there's just too many options. There's too many mouths to feed right now at the moment.
Yeah. Oh, completely. And speaking of shooting the lights out from three, according to Tim McMahon, apparently Dorian Finney-Smith is one of the team's 3 best shooters in practice. What?
According to internal analytics.
Yeah, which is Isaac's new favorite term.
That is my new favorite term, internal analytics. I love this.
Okay, so what do we think about this? I know that Dorian's a better, shooter in practice than he is during games. I mean, I've seen that with my own eyes. I've watched him hit a bunch of shots in after practice and in practice, and but one of the 3 best shooters. Okay, so let's unpack this. We'll start from the beginning. Who do you think are the other 2 shooters?
Wait, did he really say that in the tweet?
Yeah, let me go to the tweet right now. That's exactly what he said.
That's one of the 3 best shooters on the team.
One of the 3 best shooters in practice. Mavs buzz.
Okay.
This is from Tim McMahon, so at ESPN_McMahon. Mavs buzz in China was all about Luka Doncic and Dennis Smith Jr., but it's notable that Dorian Finney-Smith was solid as a fill-in starter. Finney-Smith is one of the Mavs' 3 best shooters in practice, per internal analytics. If he hits them in games, he's a good young role player. And by that, I mean if he's in mid-30s or better on threes. Finney-Smith is the kind of long, active, versatile defender teams look for as the NBA gets more switch-happy.
Let me just say this. It feels like every single offseason, there's a video that comes out of Steven Adams shooting threes. And they're like, look, Steven Adams goes 8 for 10 from threes in practice. The Lakers. Some Lakers media. I saw some video of JaVale McGee shooting 3-point, corner threes. We'll take it a step further. I even saw tonight on Twitter, John Henson draining threes against the Thunder.
John Henson hitting threes this year. The former North Carolina Tar Heel. I can't believe you don't love him.
Oh, I love John Henson.
You have no faith in John Henson. None
I love
whatsoever.
John Henson not shooting a 3.
Faith.
No,
where would he rank among the best power forwards in the game?
Top 10? No. I do like John Henson. I would love to take a fire on him. But
stop it. You would not.
Yes, I would.
For the Mavericks.
I like John Henson.
For the Mavericks.
I do. I like Ray Spalding a lot. So.
Wow, that's a Louisville guy.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
anyway,
so go ahead, continue with your internal analytics thing.
My whole thing with this is like practice shooting. It's fun for us to. It's fun for me to take a video of somebody tweeting that, or I mean, take a video of somebody shooting that after practice and tweet it out. And I know that if I take a video of Dwight Powell hitting 8 threes in a row, there's going to be fans be like, oh my gosh, Dwight, let's go threes. When it comes to the game, he's not even going to average like a 3 a game. So do we hope that Dorian Finney-Smith is this knockdown shooter? Absolutely. But we just got to see it in games.
All right. Edmund the Slayer has a good point. Dwight Howard shoots 90% from the free throw line in practice. I have watched Dwight Howard hit 5 of 5 threes from doing around the world in practice and in shoot around. So yes, I agree with you. There is a difference between in game and then in practice. So maybe
most of these big dudes can like hit threes in practice. These set shot threes. So like, there's a difference of yeah.
Alex Ray says thanks for getting my Mavs fix out here in Hawaii. What's up? Shout out Hawaii.
Oh my gosh. Hey, hang loose.
Don't hang loose. Stay tight.
I've been to the Big Island. Tell me what island you live on. I love the Big Island.
I've never been to Hawaii. I would like to go.
Hawaii's awesome. Took a field trip there.
So who do we think are the other? You took a field trip to Hawaii?
4th grade.
School? 4th grade?
Public school too. So don't come at me and think I went some rich
from Kentucky to Hawaii?
You got it. There's only like 12 of us and we raised money for it felt like my whole life to go, but we went cuz we visited a volcano.
Raised money for my whole life. On a field trip, we went to the aquarium a lot. We spent the night at the zoo.
Oh, that's impressive.
That was always a thing.
Hey, let us know your most random field trip you took in school.
What's the most random field trip you guys have been on? Alex Rice, he's from Oahu.
Okay, I haven't been to Wahoo, but I heard it's awesome.
And NJ Gamer 321 says Dorian better than Steph Curry confirmed. Agreed. He's one of the 3 best shooters on the map.
That's pretty much what McMahon's saying.
Yeah. What other field trips have you guys been on? But who do you think are the other 2 shooters in the top 3 in internal analytics for the Mavericks, like shooting?
I'm gonna say Brokoff.
I don't think Dirk is part of this.
No, I'm gonna say Brokoff, and let's hope to Jesus Wes Matthews.
Yeah, if it's not Wes, that'd be bad.
Yes. So yeah, definitely Brokoff, and then I'll just go with Wes.
You think JJ could be in there? JJ and Dirk? But I don't know if Dirk's part of this.
Yeah, I don't know if Dirk's part. I mean, I think it could be Luca. I mean, that was the first thing that they praised when we talked to Carla and them after practice the first day of training camp is how good of a shooter he was.
J. Jared 1101 says Enterprise City in 6th grade. I don't even know what Enterprise City is.
Enterprise, like the rental car company?
I doubt it. Enterprise City. I don't think that's a thing. Edmund the Slayer said I went to about 5 Rough Riders games as a field trip. What are you learning at a Rough Riders game?
I guess just hey kids, let's go to something fun.
And NJ Gamer 321 says we had a field trip to the cemetery.
No, stop it. Stop. No.
Matt Hawkins PT says Palace of Wax.
Oh, that's actually kind of cool. This is going to be a weird audio pod for some people.
We once made a field trip to the local sewage treatment plant. Yeah. Enterprise City's in OKC and it was awesome.
I guess you got to learn how it all works.
Yeah, this is going to be a weird audio one. Matt Hawkins of the Holocaust Museum.
Oh.
Enterprise City is this mock city in Frisco.
Oh, I know what he's talking about. Yes, I know what he's talking about. It like teaches kids how to do like money. Like you go to this thing and then you get money and you have bills. And I know it. I think some of the boys I used to mentor in Dallas went to this thing. I know what he's talking about. I feel you, dog. I know.
Okay, I didn't grow up in Texas, so I don't know what it is.
I didn't either, but I just learned about this like a couple years ago.
Interesting. So, how do we feel about the whole Brokoff versus Dorian Finney-Smith? We kind of talked about it yesterday, but how are you guys feeling? Let us know in the chat. Let us know how you feel about Dorian or Ryan Brokoff, because it feels like after that tweet today from McMahon that Dorian is like set, that he might even start like
yeah,
over some guys.
We'll see. I mean, I don't think he's gonna start, but when it just comes to that second unit, and really, it comes down to the two things we've talked about before on the pod. Which is going to be better, Brokoff's defense or Dodo's 3-point shot? Like that's really what's going to be it. We don't need Finney-Smith to do like I saw him the other day. He he got the ball and dribbled in a couple steps and took this like off the dribble jump shot. I don't need him to do that. Like that's cool. Like that he can. It'd be nice if he could. We just need him to hit the set shot open 3. That's what we need him to hit. Let Luca and Dennis will do their things, but the set shot open 3. That's what we're talking about. That's going to separate Maxey and Dwight possibly. So what's going to be better between the two, Brokoff's defense or Dodo's 3-point shot? That's where it's going to be a struggle. And that's where, Rick's going to – it could be matchup based. It could be, whatever it is. If they need Dorian's defense in that second unit, or let's say they play the Clippers and they really want Dorian in there to guard Lou Williams in the second unit. And compared to if they're playing somebody that they don't have this like prolific score in the second unit and they're like, hey, we can get away with Brokoff, I would rather have his, spacing.
Yeah, I feel like the starting lineup is not going to be super consistent this year. There's going to be some injuries. There's going to be some things. And I don't know. It's going to be a big year for Dorian. I think he has the edge right now.
Oh, yeah. I think he has the edge right now for sure. And in the Mavs' eyes and everything. So we'll see. And really it just comes down to, is he going to be able to keep it up? Gets a couple games in the season and he's 1 for 7 from 3. They're going to have to switch something up. But hopefully he can do it. Like, we're rooting for him.
Oh, yeah. I'm rooting for all of them. I just want everyone to be good. Can everyone just be good?
Are you? Are you, though?
I'm rooting for everyone.
Just
except you. I feel like Brokoff, from Blackrook 43, I feel like Brokoff is better than Wes right now. He always makes the right play. Pretty much the perfect 3-and-D role player wing. All right, Isaac, tell him why that is not a correct take.
Well, there was a part of me that laughed because possibly. But no, it's just it's just Wes's defense. That's the biggest thing. If you tell me if it's a 3-point shootout, then I'm taking Brokoff for sure. I'm taking Brokoff probably over anybody on the team in a three-point contest. But no, it's just Wes's. They need Wes's perimeter defense to guard these best wing defenders, or wing players in the game. So you take Wes out of there, then you're immediately given that responsibility to, if Wes goes down right now, who starts? That gets interesting.
Yeah, they probably go Luca, Dorian, Barnes.
Yeah, so they just plug in Dorian at that point and hope that he can give you half of what Wes does.
But the idea that pretty much Brokoff is the perfect 3-and-D role player wing, we're not sure he's good at defense yet.
Yeah. It's just a 3 right now.
Yeah.
We got to see the D thing. So
careful. Careful. All right. The last thing I want to get to, and we're almost to an hour. I kind of want to keep these to an hour.
Oh my gosh.
Kostas versus Ray Spalding. I tweeted ominously the other day. I think I flipped on Kostas and Ray Spalding. Coming into the year, I felt like Ray Spalding was definitely better. He was drafted higher.
Drafted higher.
Like 4 spots in the second round. So that doesn't really
scary say. Come on, they're basically all in draft at that point. But
doesn't really mean anything. However, I feel like Kostas has shown me more stuff in preseason so far, and I think I'd rather have him and have Ray Spalding on the 2-way contract.
No, I'm not there yet.
That's because Ray's your guy. You're biased.
Ray is my guy, but I will say this: I like Ray is much more.
Sorry. We mean Brian Spalding. Sorry.
Brian Spalding. No, Ray's a lot more fluid than Kostas is. So like with the ball.
Okay, I was gonna say as an athlete, Kostas is like.
Yeah. I mean, Kostas like. Yeah, but like I like Ray's overall game. Give me Ray's shooting. Ray can shoot the ball better than Kostas can.
Kostas isn't gonna shoot anything.
And like when you put their defense up next to each other, like I don't think it's that. Like I would give Kostas the edge right now just because he's had some crazy blocks and stuff. But I don't think it's that like super big of a difference. So I think Ray can get a board and take it like almost coast to coast and do it behind the back and hit a cutting guy. Like not all 6'10" dudes could do that, and I don't think Kostas can do that right now. So of course I'm gonna give Ray the edge. But
yeah. Who would I? But the question then becomes, who would you rather have on the team? A guy that's not going to play, that's just going to kind of travel around with the team, Like this guy's really not going to play. If Salah's not going to play, then this guy's really not going to play.
I think the biggest question when it comes down to it, and I think it's more of them wanting to be a competing team this year, is if you're going to have somebody like Salah Mejri on your roster as an insurance for DeAndre Jordan and say, hey, you're pretty much not going to have a big-time role because as long as Dirk is healthy and getting his minutes and not resting, and DeAndre is obviously healthy, you might not be even dressing. So at that point, you might even ask yourself, why not replace the 32-year-old Salah with like Ray Spalding or Kostas instead, and have him be with the team all the time and getting those minutes but you run the risk of you being a competing team, a borderline playoff team, or pushing for the playoffs, and then DeAndre goes down for, a couple weeks, and you need a veteran plug-in guy that can give you, like I said, a Diet Coke version of DeAndre, and you wouldn't want to throw Ray Spalding or Kostas to the wolves at that point and say, but you could also counter that and say, could Dwight Powell play center and, play that DeAndre role like he did in China? And so you see what I'm saying? Like I could see that pathway of. Let's just say I'm pro Salah and I love Salah on the roster, but I could see a Mavs fan point of view saying, why are we rostering why is a 32-year-old guy might not even be dressing most times? Why wouldn't that spot go to a younger guy? I could see that. I'm just saying.
Yeah. There's a point for that, but the insurance policy. Maybe some familiarity with Luca. That I think that probably has something to do with it too. Brostradamus says, I don't think Dirk will play much this year. I think his ankle is going to bother him all year. There's also a scenario where Dirk doesn't really play a lot, and you actually need Salah to play some, third string, center minutes.
Here's my only thing to that. I think he will. This plays into why I think he will take it really slow, and they'll take it really slow. I don't think it's worth it for Dirk at that point. Like, Dirk came back to play, and I don't think Dirk wants to do this back and forth, barely play or something like that. I think he would rather just set it out now, get it healthy, and then get into this routine to where he's actually playing and not planning to do that.
Yeah, I don't think he would call it quits, but he might shut it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Edmund the Slayer just said, love this pod. Just followed both of y'all on Twitter. If you guys have not followed us on Twitter, they're up in this corner in this box. We've been showing them. Yeah, right above Isaac's head there. You can check that out there. So shout out to everybody that followed. You can also follow on my Twitch, subscribe to my YouTube, all that stuff. Forming Worship says, what do you have against 32-year-olds, Isaac?
Nothing. Hey guys, my birthday is this month, so
what?
I'm getting close. It's
35?
coming up in a couple weeks. Close. No, I'm not 35 yet.
Not yet. L Brandon 42 says, Nick, I love you, and I love you, random citizen.
How sweet. Well, let me guess. What is this, Laker fan 103?
No. All right, there you go. That's the live stream. So we did this right after the first game.
Guys, look at my new book, guys.
That's nice.
It's such a cool book. Go get it. It's awesome.
That's nice. Shout out. That's a shout out for free. You guys can pay us next time.
Topo Chico sponsors the pod.
You guys can pay us too. Popcorn. Smart popcorn. You can pay us. Yeah, we'll be doing this once a week. L Brendan 42 says, Isaac, you're my hero. So he loves me and you're his hero. There's a different kind of love there for sure.
Hey, on a serious note, if you want to sponsor this pod, you can sponsor the pod.
Yeah, for real.
We never really promote that, but that does help us. If you have a local business or something, there is a local media agency, local and national, that's about to sponsor our podcast that you'll be hearing coming up really soon.
Yeah.
So you'll be hearing that really soon, and it's pretty cool because they're a nationally known company.
Yep,
which we have a lot of.
They're making a big splash.
A big splash, and they're gonna sponsor our Locked On Mavericks podcast for a bit. So if you have a company locally or really anywhere and you want to promote something, hit us up.
Yes, yeah, you can email me, nickangstead@gmail.com. You can DM me. My DMs are open. You can DM at Locked On Mavs, too. We'll get you in touch with one of the...
Slide in those DMs.
Slide right into the DM.
Somebody's going to gift that.
It's like the Brian Windhorst thing.
Brian Windhorst.
Also, so we did this earlier after the first preseason game in China. And... Brostradamus says, you guys deserve the money. We do deserve the money. You're right.
Brother, yeah.
And that last live stream, we had 0 dropped frames. So if you technical people know what that means, it's like when the video goes and I move around a lot and you can't tell that anything is like choppy. We had 0 drop frames. This one, we've had 40,000 drop frames. So there's something about this. Are you
serious?
Yeah, there's something about this time.
Next time will be better, I promise you.
We'll try to figure it out. I think it's just the time of day that we're doing it. The One True Decade said, y'all getting sponsored by BBB.
Oh,
I don't think the Better Business Bureau is going to sponsor us.
I couldn't. No. What's that? Well, I wouldn't take bad money. I guess any money would be good, but.
You wouldn't take LeVar's money?
It depends on how much, man.
You have to wear the shoes.
Oh no, no.
Yeah, Matt Hawkins says Chop City tonight. Yeah, I understand. But okay, in the chat, let me know, is the audio choppy? Because I feel like if the audio is not choppy, you get the idea. It's just us. It's just our faces. And then Salo70 says, get 61 more followers so I can tip you on Twitch. Yeah, that's true. If you get to a certain amount of followers, then you can get affiliate and then you can start getting tipped and actually get money from it. That'd be awesome. Brostradamus
cool.
says LeVar next guest. LeVar's been really quiet. I've been surprised how quiet LeVar's been.
Probably because the Lakers are giving him money to stay quiet.
Yeah, and Foreman Worship says Twitter chat is not working for me. It's working for a lot of other people. I'm getting Twitter chat notifications, but anyway, all right, there you go on the podcast and everywhere else. This has been the Locked On Mavericks live stream. You can join again. We're not really sure what days we're gonna do these. They're kind of gonna be different because this is not our full-time thing. We do other stuff. I work at nights. Isaac, has a lot of stuff. He has a baby.
I have a baby.
He's a live living human.
I do church stuff.
LeVar is prepping for a 2020 run. He's running.
That's why it's quiet. Who'd you vote for, Kanye or LeVar?
Oh my God, no, Kanye LeVar 2020.
Honey, we're moving to Brazil.
There you go. All right, guys. Thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom.